guys, Richard Holden here. Welcome to the channel. Today we got some serious other guy stuff. First of all, we have a Nash Rambler. Then we have an engine swap Nash Rambler. And it's a 2J and it's carbureted. So that's like the other guy. Let's take a look. Hey guys, I'm here with Jerry. Good to see you, man.
Pleasure.
This thing is all kinds of awesome. So I want you to tell everybody about what this car is. First of all, let's start off with what year is it?
It's a 60 Rambler.
1960 Nash Rambler. I see something different other than the stock motor here. What do we got going on?
Well, this is a JDM takeout, 3-liter, twin cam, inline 6.
2J, everybody knows it as a 2J, but the very, very cool thing about this, and you guys will be able to see this, I got a little video clip here for it, it does not have fuel injection on it. And not only does it not have fuel injection, but it also has a distributor. So what do we got going on? In place of the factory fuel injection, what do we got going on? What are these three things right here?
Okay, these are 3 carburetors, 2-barrel progressive,
Nice.
Holly Webbers.
Okay.
And I simply chopped up the fuel injection manifold and built something that fit because it was tight. And they're progressive, so it runs on the center carburetor most of the time. It gets good mileage.
Nice.
Nice carburetors. Didn't have to put a screwdriver on them. Just took them out
Just
of the box.
put them in out of the box.
Right. Everything was nice. The engine originally had didn't have a distributor. It had a sensor that told the computer where it was. It didn't have a crank trigger. It had this.
Okay.
So I was able to get at it and put a distributor in it, and I happened to find that the distributor out of the Chrysler SLANT 6, the pointless one,
SLANT 6, married to the 2J, awesome.
was close enough to where if I machined the body and changed the gear,
Okay.
I could make it work, and it worked quite well. In fact, even the advance curve is pretty close.
And the gear that you used, is it some, it wasn't
No,
some
no,
custom
it
machine
was-
piece, it was an off-the-shelf piece,
No,
right?
the gear on this one was on the device that's used to tell the computer where it was.
Oh, okay.
So it was simply reaming that and pressing it on the Mopar distributor.
Okay, so you just changed the diameter,
Yeah.
you put that gear
Yeah.
on?
2 bits of machine work, the body and the gear.
Yeah, but you had to figure that out, and that
Well,
is
yeah,
like,
I had
that's
to
all
lay it
kinds
out
of
on
awesome.
the table and
Yeah.
look at it.
I want to talk a little about the intake manifold. So you took a stock 2J manifold.
Right, that normally came to a plenum and then all the tubes went around.
Yep.
I just sawed it off.
Made it a short runner, basically, right?
Right,
Okay.
and took a piece of 3x2 square aluminum tube
Nice.
and hole sawed all the manifold holes in it and blocked it. And
So made a big common plenum, basically, and mounted this like
Yeah, no
3
tuning.
DEUCE carburation setup going on.
right, no tuning. I figured since it was a traveling car rather than a race car,
Yeah.
I could go by the log manifold and not lose much.
And the cool thing about this setup is not only is it 3 DEUCEs, which is obviously awesome, but they're progressive. So not only the carburetors themselves are progressive, so they're 2-barrel, so it opens up on 1 barrel and then the 2nd barrel, but the linkage he has set up, it works primarily off the center carburetor and then opens up the other 2, so you have a double progressive linkage, which is, again, all kinds of awesome. So we have a very cool motor. It's carbureted, it's got a distributor. What transmission do we got going on?
It's got a 700 R4 out of an S10.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So it's got overdrive?
Right, and it's got a fairly low gear, so it gets moving good.
So
and,
what rear end do we have attached to the trans then?
It's got a 340 8-inch Ford in it.
Nice. And does it have a limited slip or anything
Yeah.
in it?
It's got a Thorson limited slip. I think it's a Detroit,
Nice.
but it's a twin screw.
Yeah,
limited
Source and limited slip. That's awesome in this car. So you have an overdrive trans,
Right.
you've got this motor, and then does this thing also have like a lockup converter on it?
Yes, it does. In fact, I have manual control of that on the gear lever,
Oh, nice.
such that when I'm in 2nd or 3rd, I can lock it up and roll along through the mountains.
So you're not just relying on the trans doing that by itself. You can kind of dictate when that's going to happen.
If you leave it on the converter and run it hard, it tends to heat up a bit. But
Okay.
If you lock it up,
Yeah.
it stays cool.
Oh, that's awesome. So lockup converter, driving with this motor and carburetors, and how far have you guys driven this car?
Pretty much all over the United States. We've been to,
So
we've been to
cross-country
Pikes
motoring in this thing, it's awesome.
It does run on premium though.
Good.
It does not like regular. I think it's fairly high
There's
compression.
nothing wrong with giving her the good stuff.
No. No, it gets good economy, so we don't care about that.
So when you guys are driving on these long trips all the way across the country, like what kind of fuel mileage does this thing get?
Somewhere between 27 and 30.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And this isn't even your car, right? Whose car is this?
This belongs to my wife.
His wife's car. Is that awesome? Carbureted 2J for his wife. Does this thing have AC so you guys can be nice and cool?
Yeah, it's got the factory dealer installed add-on AC, and it uses the Lexus equivalent compressor, and then the rest of it is what the Rambler had.
So you have the 2J compressor, and you have that mated to the rest of the system, right?
Right.
Nice.
Right here.
This thing is fantastic. So we're going to take a little drive in it, and he's going to do a little road test for me.
Count them.
Well, there's a whole bunch of them, right?
Yeah.
Is that the exhaust?
Yeah. Normally I think to go out at an angle. All right, do you know I'm behind you?
So we're taking a cruise with Jerry in this is a 1960. 1960 AMC Rambler with a 3-liter 2J carbureted with a distributor. How awesome is that? This thing's fantastic. This is exactly the kind of car that you'd want to be cruising around in. Yeah, chirping second.
So you have to be careful and take it out, or you're just going to slip the clutch inside the torque converter.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go to the full size transmission.
Let's get out on the freeway. So what years does this thing have in it?
355 or 340. 340.
340, okay. And what transmission is this thing?
700 R4.
700 R4, so we got some overdrive. Nice.
We're in overdrive now, and we're going about 70.
Yeah, this thing motors down the freeway, man.
And we'll come back in and come around.
I love it.
It's going to get power brakes and power steering for my wife.
Yeah, that sure makes it a lot easier.
Even though she drove manual cars, she got spoiled, and then when she got back to a manual car, she said, that's a lot of work.
It is. It is, especially when you got to park and stuff. It's kind of a pain. It makes life a lot easier when you got power steering and stuff.
Yeah.
Does this thing have drum brakes on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Drums all the way around?
Right now it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I got discs for the front. And,
okay.
I think the rears are adequate for what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, there's no really high performance kind of thing. For this engine, the transmission kind of short shifts.
Okay.
You know, even if you mat it, you don't get into the really high horsepower into the engine unless you're holding gear.
Yeah. Well, and you guys aren't racing it around, so that's not really that important.
Well, there's been a little bit of, you know, when we travel as a group, like coming through Utah where it's 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
There were some surprised looks on people's face when you come by them 80 plus in the mountains or something, you know, at altitude.
So you're not going to say that you haven't maybe once or twice held it in gear long enough for it to feel the power up on the top, right?
No, you don't. You've been going too fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it really starts to scream over about 4,500.
Okay. This thing is all kinds of awesome. Definitely other guys' material. First of all, it's a 2J. It's carbureted. It's in a Rambler. I mean, how much more awesome can you get, guys? Thanks for tuning in. I'm Richard Holder. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all this stuff. I got more of this kind of stuff. I'm going to be doing lots of videos with Jerry because he has a whole garage full of cool stuff. Thanks for joining us.